Ever wondered why the same wrestlers keep winning while others almost never do? Promotions sort talent into levels that quietly decide who gets protected and who gets sacrificed. Here's how that system works, starting at the bottom. Level 1. Beginner and Trainee. This is the entry point before television. Beginners learn the basics at a wrestling school or inside WWE system. The goal is simple: build safe ring habits, understand match psychology, and prove you can perform under pressure without hurting anyone. Examples make it clear. Bianca Belair arrived from track and strength sports with no prior pro wrestling background, mastered fundamentals fast, then layered in character and promo work until she could hold a camera and a crowd. Braun Strowman came from strongman, spent time smoothing movement and footwork, focused on safe bumps and positioning, and graduated once he could protect opponents while still feeling like a monster. Most WWE-bound talent now pass through the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Recruits also come from college athletics and open tryouts, where coaches test conditioning, movement, and coachability. Early drills are short and repeatable. Hit the ropes clean, take safe falls, chain 3 moves, then stop on a dime. Coaches watch for body control, ring awareness, and whether you adjust mid-rep without breaking character. Beginners practice presentation from day 1. That means a clear entrance beat, basic camera awareness, facial expressions that read in the upper deck, and short, steady lines on the mic. The aim is a stance and silhouette the audience can recognize in seconds, backed by cardio that keeps technique clean when tired. In the 2000s, Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW in Louisville, Kentucky was WWE's developmental partner, and it shaped an era. John Cena sharpened fundamentals there before his Ruthless Aggression debut put him on the map. Brock Lesnar paired elite amateur skills with TV timing and hit Raw like a freight train. Batista refined ring movement as Leviathan before stepping onto the main roster and into Evolution. Progress is measured in milestones. First, safe bumps and clean footwork. Next, a simple 3-act match you can run at slow speed. Show offense, give control back, make a short comeback to a clean finish. When you can do that safely with different partners, keep time, and hold character while fixing mistakes, you're ready to move into developmental, where those same skills get tested on short televised reps in front of live crowds. Level 2. Developmental talent. This is where signed prospects get regular TV reps on NXT and level up. The goal shifts from learn it safely to do it live, on time, and in character. Matches run a little longer, promos move from short scripts to live mic moments, and producers begin protecting finishes so the act feels real to the audience. 2 clear examples right now are Lexis King and Sol Ruca. King leans on character first, sharp entrance beat, confident pacing on the mic, and a simple heel match that lets his expressions carry the story. He's tested in TV feuds with one memorable cutoff and a finish the camera can read in a single shot. Ruca is an athletic spectacle first. Coaches frame her matches around one highlight, then wrap safe, repeatable offense around it. The focus is timing the signature, turning to the hard camera, and holding the moment so it lands on social clips. Development here is structured. Talent work a 2 to 3 segment TV match, follow up with a short live interview the next week, and get paired with a reliable veteran to anchor timing. They'll receive a protected win, then carry a small feud that ends in a clean, easy-to-read finish. Story packages, backstage sit-downs, and a first special entrance get layered in to see if the act scales beyond a single move or catchphrase. Classic developmental runs show the blueprint. Seth Rollins became the first NXT champion by delivering high-tempo TV matches every week, proving he could be the brand's workhorse. Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks used takeover matches to lock in clear characters and big match timing, turning strong reps into main roster trust. Bray Wyatt repackaged from a generic prospect into a fully formed cult leader, testing promos and presentation until the persona clicked. Think of the roster as a pyramid. Level 2 is the foundation on television. The signals that matter are steady crowd noise on the entrance, chants that repeat week to week, clean execution under fatigue, short clips that perform online, and match times that slowly grow without breaking. When those signals hold, longer TV mains, clearer promos, and finishes the company protects, the act is ready to mix with the wider roster and move up the ladder. And if you're into seeing wrestling history broken down like this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got plenty more moments just like this coming up. Level 3. Enhancement talent or jobbers. Enhancement talent, also called jobbers, are the wrestlers booked to make someone else look strong. They work short, one-sided TV matches called squashes, take moves safely, react big, and help the featured star's finisher look deadly. This is the bottom working layer of the on-screen pyramid. You'll often see one-night local competitors brought in for this exact role, or a performance center trainee given a quick TV spot to feed offense to a rising act. The match layout is simple. A brief hope spot, so the bout has shape, the clean cutoff right on cue, and a finish fed straight to the hard camera so the star's signature lands. Classic paths show how common this stage is. Matt Hardy spent years taking TV losses in the 90s before breaking out with Jeff as the Hardy Boys. Jeff Hardy did one-sided TV losses as a teenager long before that tag run made him a star. Mick Foley appeared as Jack Foley, getting roughed up by top teams years before becoming Mankind. You can tell when someone is inching upward. The match runs a minute longer, they land a small burst of offense the crowd recognizes, and they get a short backstage line that tells you who they are. When an occasional upset win appears and their timing stays clean, they're moved into early card TV matches and short feuds. Level 4. Lower card and openers. Lower card wrestlers show up most weeks in the first hour of TV. They warm up the crowd, connect quick stories, and work tidy matches that end clean. The job is to be reliable, safe, and clear, so the bigger stories later in the show land even better. 2 current examples. The Miz often opens shows with a talk segment or a short match. He sets the tone, stirs the pot, then loses clean when a rising star needs a strong win. Watch his pacing. He gives the other wrestler time to hit their big move, turns to the main camera so it reads, and sells it just long enough for the replay. Natalya does the same role in the women's division. She makes new acts look sharp by keeping the match structure simple, feeding their signature spots on cue, and holding the ring together when timing slips. If a newcomer needs a test on live TV, she's the safe opponent who can guide the pace and still make the finish feel real. On screen, this looks like quick entrances, a handful of signature moves, and a straightforward pin or submission. They might start the show, pop back in a backstage piece to set up a later bout, then return for a short match that sends the story forward without stealing the spotlight. Classic examples show how this lane can still be fun. R-Truth turned short segments into must-see comedy and kept crowds loud without touching the main event. Heath Slater made the lovable underdog work week after week, even when legends ran through him. Tyler Breeze and Fandango used Fashion Police skits to stay on TV until a proper push arrived. You can tell when someone is moving up. Match times stretch past 5 minutes, wins over peers get cleaner, and a small feud gets its own video package. If the crowd starts chanting on the entrance and producers give them a live mic moment that lands, they're on their way into the mid-card title picture. Level 5. Mid-Carder. Mid-Carders carry the secondary titles and the stories that sit under the world title scene. They win enough to feel dangerous, lose enough to stay flexible for new matchups, and usually wrestle in the middle of big shows. The job is to hold the show together with strong matches and clear, easy-to-follow stories. 2 good examples today. Dominic Mysterio is the blueprint heel mid-carder. He gets loud boos the second he walks out, keeps heat with simple, nasty offense, and leans on shortcuts just enough to stay hated. His segments revolve around 3 beats: big entrance reaction, 1 strong control stretch where he talks to the camera, and a finish that either steals a win or sets up next week's rematch. Chad Gable is the workhorse babyface version. He makes opponents look great while still feeling like a threat. His matches have clean setups, smart counters, and 1 or 2 signature suplex spots the crowd waits for. When producers want a sure mid-show match that holds attention for 10 to 15 minutes, they book Gable. Classic mid-card runs show how this lane can shine. Mr. Perfect made the Intercontinental title feel like a prize with crisp matches and swagger. Razor Ramon turned the ladder match into a showcase that sold the belt as a real stepping stone. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler spent years here stealing TV segments, anchoring cards when the main event was busy elsewhere, and proving reliability every week. You can tell when a mid-carder is climbing. Matches move later on the show. Wins over other push names get clean. The microphone spots stretch longer without stumbling. A secondary title defense lands on a big event and doesn't need outside help. When the crowd believes they can beat anyone on a good night, they're ready for the next rung. Level 6. Upper Mid-Carder. Upper mid-carders sit just under the world title scene. They can headline TV, close the second hour, and co-main event big shows. They beat most opponents clean, talk live without a script in hand, and carry long segments without help. Two strong examples today. LA Knight is the fan energy version of this spot. He walks out and the crowd is already with him. His matches are laid out to land three things clearly: the hot entrance chant, one long control stretch where he talks while wrestling, and a clean finish that looks believable against protected names. When the company wants a big rating without using the world champion, they give Knight the last segment, let him talk straight to camera, and set a match the audience thinks he can win. Tiffany Stratton is the women's blueprint here. Her entrances feel expensive, her character is simple to read in 5 seconds, and her offense is built around 2 or 3 signatures the cameras can catch from any angle. Agents trust her in the later part of the show because she hits time cues and keeps the story clean. When a newer opponent needs a step-up match, Stratton guides the pace, sprinkles in just enough selling to create doubt, then lands a decisive finish that looks like a future champion's win. Classic Rhodes out of this lane are well known. Edge stacked wins, held Money in the Bank, and one cash-in turned almost there into a world title night. Jeff Hardy went from Intercontinental standout to closing TV every week in 2008, then finally beat the champion on pay-per-view. Daniel Bryan built weekly momentum with US and tag runs until the crowd reaction made a WrestleMania push unavoidable. You can tell an upper mid-carder is turning into a main eventer. Their TV matches move to the final slot more often. They start pinning other protected names clean, not by distraction. Their promos end the show and set the stakes for the next big event. When the audience believes they can beat the champion on any given night, the next step is a world title program. Level 7. Main Eventer and Superstar. Main eventers are the faces of the show. They close TV and big events, carry the top stories, and their segments set the direction for the brand. Wins are framed as statements, losses are rare and feel like major moments. Video packages open the night for them, and post-show clips carry the buzz until next week. Two clear examples today. Cody Rhodes runs the classic babyface blueprint. The entrance is a crowd cue, the promo sets the stakes, and the match builds to one clean, decisive finish that sends a message to the whole roster. On TV, he anchors the first 15 minutes and the last 10, tying the episode together. At big events, he wrestles long, steady matches where momentum swings matter, and the final image is him standing tall with a microphone or a title. Rhea Ripley is the women's version at full power. Her presence sells the match before the bell. The structure is simple and strong. Early physical control, a mid-match scare to keep doubt alive, then a decisive finish. Her segments often pull other stories into orbit because everyone wants the champion's screen time. Classic rises followed the same pattern. Bret Hart proved he could carry long singles matches until the world title was the obvious next step. Shawn Michaels turned show-stealing performances into full-time headline status. John Cena took a mid-card title run, connected every week on the mic, and became the perennial closer. There's also a tier of franchise legends and special attractions who sit above the weekly grind and spike the main event scene on demand. The Rock can walk out for one night and flip an arena with a stare and a rock bottom. John Cena appears a few times a year, and every segment feels like a chapter in a final story. Brock Lesnar drops in for big fights, keeps the layout simple and violent, and leaves the card feeling bigger. Cameos from names like Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Randy Orton, or The Undertaker are booked as event moments. Short promos, clear stakes, and strong finishes that protect the aura. Used well, one appearance can raise a champion's stock, launch a fresh challenger, or put a whole storyline back on the rails. You can spot a true main eventer by consistent tells. They headline more often than not. Finishes are cleaner and framed for replays. Promos end the show and set stakes for the next big event. Media pushes follow their matches, and the crowd stays loud after the bell, because the story isn't just about the win, it's about where the brand goes next. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into wrestling, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.